Hey guys, Hidrugon here. In today's video, I want to talk about the fourth prince of the Kakin Empire, Tserriednich, and just why he is so terrifying. Well, there's a few reasons why, and I'll break them down into different categories. The first one is his characterization. He's been introduced to us as this character that's unstoppable, unbeatable, as I talked about in my last video. But what makes this so scary is that he's in a position where he has so much power. He's in charge of different mafia families, he's got all these underworld ties, and he's in a position of royalty. So not only is he strong by his own standing, but he's got all this support around him, even being close to other princes like Prince Halkenberg. So this makes him a very terrifying opponent to go up against, because he has everything to get away with the malicious acts he does. As we see at the start of the series, he kills all these women and there's no consequences. Who knows what happened to them according to the public. And that's what makes him so intimidating, is that he is genuinely so unhinged because he can get away with it. So that's the first thing. The second thing is his will, who he is as a person. He's very similar to Meruem, as we see. They're both proficient in Nen as soon as they come to it. But the only difference is that Meruem, as he is born, he has this complex of, I am the king, so I should rule. And Tserriednich has this complex of, I am the best, so I should be treated as the best. I'm the only one who deserves the good things in life, the finer things in life. But the difference is, as they both come across the more gentle parts of humanity, Meruem realizes that power is for protecting the weak through Kombagi. And as Prince Tserriednich goes through friendships and goes through help from others who are trying to, admire him and help him reach his goals, he just has a bigger ego of superiority. He thinks, wow, these peasants, they're all coming to me. I must be the best thing since sliced bread. So that's just a complete difference in mentality. What I'd compare it to is if you put Hisoka in Meruem's body. That's a bit like how I view Tserriednich. And what's so scary about him is that we've barely seen the surface of him. The most we know about him as a character really is his Nen Beast. And his Nen Beast is the deformed woman with faces of other people in its mouth. And it almost looks like something from a horror movie. Something from, a Dead Space, a Silent Hill game. And it really makes you see that inside his mind, he is someone that genuinely is evil. There is no redeeming factors about him. He is just the most malicious person ever. And it's the same situation of Gyro, where Gyro, of course, has this will of being evil, but he doesn't have the power that the fourth prince has. The fourth prince has only been able to use Nen for a few days, and he's already one of the most powerful Nen users in the verse. So the ability to change the future with the maliciousness to act on it for destruction, really, he's a character that's, he might as well be One Punch Man, but the evil version of One Punch Man. He's someone that I think we're genuinely going to get some of the most horrific, grueling kills in the series. We see a lot through his characterization that he almost has an admiration for the cruelty in life. He enjoys tearing people apart limb from limb and watching their lifeless bodies. It's almost a sort of fetish for him where he strives on feeding off the weak. And it's the complete polar opposite from all the other villains we have in the series. Because we've never had a villain like this. Keep in mind, the Phantom Troop are people that are doing this for personal and beneficial gain. Hisoka's doing it to test himself. Then you've got Meruem is doing it because he feels like it's in his rights. Whilst Tserriednich is doing it for pure ecstasy, pure joy, pure love of absolute hatred and destruction. And we see in a lot of panels his face just completely changed. And he has this switch he flips where really he doesn't have any allies. I reckon he would kill himself if he could project himself in another person. He's someone that genuinely, he's a character that I think that the Dark Continent is going to be explored through him. I believe he's going to take over the Dark Continent, and we're going to see the Dark Continent through his eyes. Because he's someone that genuinely isn't from this world. He's more fit to be in the Dark Continent himself, as he is someone that doesn't have any texture. And what do I mean by texture? I mean that he doesn't have any, back and forths in his mind. He is so at peace with being evil. And that's the scary thing. Because normally even Hisoka, you can kind of see his back and forth mentally. And you can see Chrollo is wanting to realize who he is as a person. Meruem wanting to think, why was I born? But he has found his purpose, and that's in death and in killing. So now that we know about his Nen ability, which is crazy overpowered, whilst he's using Zetsu, he can go into the future. How is this going to affect the cast? Well, I think that he's going to use this like Phaeton words. I think Phaeton's the closest thing we have as a character to him. I think he's going to kill people, bring them back in time, kill them again, bring them back in time, kill them again, as a way to interrogate them for information, and then just leave them dead anyway. And I think that he's going to run through the black whale like a hot knife running through butter. And this is genuinely the part of the series that I think, we've from the start of Hunter x Hunter, there's been this tonal shift, right? We've started off and it was very happy-go-lucky, on of course, on Whale Islands, and it's kind of got a bit darker in the Zodiac family. It got darker again, at the York New, and at Chimera Ant arc, it doesn't feel like a shonen anymore. It almost feels like a soft seinen, and I think that this is going to be where the series truly becomes like a seinen. It's going to start looking more like Berserk than it is like Naruto. And I think you might even get darker than this Berserk, just knowing the mentality and the thought process of this man. We don't get much on his backstory, but what we do get is that he had no reason to be like this. So it just makes you think, if something bad does happen to him, as he's showing feelings for Theta, of course, if someone does kill her, how much worse can he get? And that's really why I wanted to take this video. Of course, I had to start talking about everything else, but this is the concluding point I want to talk about. He is someone that's had a very nice, a very enjoyable, and a very easy life. What happens when he starts losing control? When, of course, you've got so many powerhouses on the ship, things go a way he doesn't like. People he doesn't want to die. How much more cruel and evil can he get? Because really, his Nen Beast, that of course the URN ceremony got created, and his own Nen Beast are both absolutely horrifying. And as we've seen through the third prince, whose Nen Beast is constantly, giving out tokens, and we saw the other Nen Beast, was this dragon that kept growing and growing. These Nen Beasts change, they adapt, and they become different based on their owners. So as he becomes more and more disturbed, his Nen Beast will actually become a thing almost satanic. It'll almost become Lucifer in a way. And that's the thing that makes his arc so interesting, is that he holds all the leverage. He has the eyes that Kurapika wants, and he killed the Phantom Troop's old friend Sheila, which is the reason why they came to be anyway. So now where he's the convoluting point of all these plot points, and you've got so many intelligent minds between his adversaries, things are bound to go wrong. And what's going to be interesting is to see the fallout. I think it's going to be a lot when Kite dies, where we see this absolute, all these chess pieces get moved around. And I think what's interesting to see is how he's going to dictate the ship, right? Because it's clear that he's the most powerful on there. He can easily take over. So when he does take over, how is he going to keep the ship going? And how is Beyond Netero going to react? Because that's the outlier, is Beyond Netero. He's got all these pawns in all these positions. And I think Beyond Netero is the only one that can cause him problems. So how are we going to stop him? I don't think we can stop him. As I said in my last video, I think he's unbeatable. I think he'll be someone that goes to the Dark Continent and stays there to live forever, whilst the others go back to Earth and tell them everyone the horror stories of how it's awful and how we should never wander there again. And I think that it's going to be a while until we see him again. I think he's going to be one of those characters that, just like Gyro is placed in the background of the story, we know he's left, as like a chimera ant that's got in his memories and his control. But we don't know what he's up to. The narrators told us, like, hey, Gon and Gyro will meet up again, but we don't know why or how. And I think it's going to be the same with Tserriednich. So I'll be interested to see if they delve more into his backstory. to see a bit maybe why he's like this, because I think it's kind of strange that someone can just be born so evil. But, you know, regardless of what we get of him, I do think already his characterization, his swagger, the way he looks after himself, he values being pretty, yet doing things atrociously. There's a very stark contrast between how he presents himself and how he is. So I think that's a plot point that could be interesting. I think that, you know, the show don't tell about his character and the writing style has been very good. We know very little about him, but it really works for our benefit because we're learning about him as the other characters like Feta are learning about him and his other soldiers. And I'm really looking forward to his involvement in the Dark Continent, because I genuinely think that he's going to be the stakes of the series. The thing that made the Chimera Ant arc so good was the stakes. We knew that at any moment, if Meruem came in contact with any of the main cast, they were dead. That's why when Meruem uses N and he got to Knuckle, it was so scary. Because like, okay, what can they do? They can't do anything. So I'm going to find it interesting how, you know, the whole dynamics work on the ship until we get there. Will we even get to the Dark Continents? Or will he just be the only one that gets there? There's a lot of questions. And I hope this helped to really, so I could pass my anxiety and my fear on to you. Because he is so scary, man. He's someone that, if you saw him at a cafe, you'd run out the cafe and never go to that side of town again. And yeah, this was Hadrigon. I hope you're having a good day. I upload Hunter x Hunter videos every day. I'm going to be reviewing the next chapter of Hunter x Hunter when it comes out this Sunday. I think I'm going to do a video like reviewing the Greed Island OVAs. I've got like, you know, a rough idea of my roadmap, but if you want some videos yourself or you want to see some Hunter x Hunter content which doesn't already exist on YouTube, just leave me a comment and I'll do the video for you. And yeah, thank you for the support. I really appreciate it. Hadrigon, peace out.